Hey everyone, this is Charles, your host of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, where I bring you interviews of Detroit difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship and community involvement. I'm excited about this bonus episode because we're going to bring to you again T.ROSE, and she's going to share about the top 5 things you need to know to attract lenders and investors to your business. The top 5 things you need to know to attract lenders and investors to your business. Let's get started. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Detroit Metro Plug podcast. I'm Charles McKay, your host of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, where we bring interviews of difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship and community involvement. I'm excited because we have a bonus episode with our guest, T.ROSE, who is a business specialist. She is the founder of writeyourplan.com. Again, that's writeyourplan.com, which she founded in 2017, which helped entrepreneurs to write out their business plan and also position them for access to funding, investors, whether it's business loans or people investing in that business. And we had a very good episode where she just broke down the top 5 reasons why you should have a business plan. And she has over 20 years experience with writing and editing and helping others with their business plan. She did this as also a professor at a college in Michigan, where she helped people in the area of entrepreneurship and business plan writing. In this bonus episode, we're going to talk about the top 5 things business owners need to know to attract investors and lenders. The top 5 things business owners need to know to attract investors and lenders. So I know if you're an entrepreneur and you want to scale up your business, you definitely want to take notes for this episode. So let us welcome back T.ROSE.
Hi there, Charles. Thanks so much.
Yes, welcome back for this bonus episode. So we talked about in our previous episode the top 5 reasons you should write a business plan. So let's say you have your business plan, you've written it out,
Mhm.
and you're trying to get funding. Maybe you ran out of money out of your personal savings account, and you want to scale up your business. And now you tested your idea, your product or service, and you see that there's demand in the marketplace, and you want to go to the next level.
Mhm.
So share with us those top 5 things business owners need to attract lenders.
Absolutely. So, this is really a fun subject. And there are a lot of people that say, oh my gosh, there's people out there that would give me money. So, yeah, I'm a business owner. Sign me up. Sure. I need some money. Just give it to me. And we find that once you get into that process, that there are some things that people need to know, that it would be helpful to know it before you jump into that idea and that process. So I have broken down the top 5 reasons that I have found, the top 5 things that come up when people are looking for venture capitalists or investors or other lenders. It could even be somebody in your own family, but particularly when you're looking for those outside resources. So the number one in the top 5 reasons that or top 5 things that entrepreneurs need to know in order to attract investors and lenders. The number one thing is that you have to have a track record. So they are looking typically for people to be in business. I would say the minimum is 9 months. If you've been in business for longer than that, it just depends upon the application process. Some of them might say a year, 2 years, 3 years, but the idea here, whatever the time frame is, the idea behind it is that it's not for someone who hasn't started. who basically is still just in the idea stage. Because a lot of times when you're in the idea stage, and it all starts with your dream, it all starts with an idea, it all starts with a thought. Everything starts with a thought. And so, but when you're in that stage of it, I think that the investors and lenders are thinking that you don't know enough yet, you don't have enough experience yet. So even though you maybe have been doing a certain skill, you have a certain skill, something that you've been doing for a long period of time. If you have not actually been doing that thing as a legitimate business yet, investors and lenders are going to be hesitant to invest in your idea when you have no experience in actually doing it as a business. So they're looking for that track record. And a minimum that I've seen is 9 months. Some of them may be more.
Okay, so 9 months, a track
Minimum.
record minimum. So that means that they are a registered business, such as a LLC. Does
Hmm.
that include that they have to have a EIN number, a bank account, and
Hmm.
some revenue coming through? Is that
Correct.
fair to say? Okay,
That is
so
fair to say.
and as long as you have some revenue coming through, a registered business with your state, your articles of organization, such as a LLC, your EIN number with the IRS,
Correct.
and then you have revenue coming through a bank. Okay,
Correct.
just for 9 months. That's all.
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
shortest time period that I have
Okay.
seen. Yeah.
Now, when you talk about a track record, does it involve with putting statements together? Because as I just for example,
Hmm.
as a new entrepreneur, my filing system was basically a shoebox or a manila envelope, and I put receipts in. When you say track record, do you have to be more organized than that, or?
Yeah, that's gonna be part of the business plan actually, is that you have some of those financial records that you'll be able to provide. Absolutely.
Okay, okay, all right.
Yep.
So go into the next thing that we need
Okay.
to know.
So the second thing that they're gonna be looking for is that you have money. Right? So
Okay.
that's also going to dispel a myth that sometimes when people say, "Oh my gosh, there's free money out here. Let me get some for my business." What you need to know is that they are looking for you to have some, we call it skin in the game, right? They're looking for you to have some money of your own as well. So it's not as if you're sitting here with this idea or even a business that you've started and now you're saying, I'm completely exhausted of money. I have no money. And so, therefore, I need an investor to give me money so that I can run my business. That's probably not going to happen. So, what they are looking for is that you also have money. Some of them are looking for collateral. So, what are you going to be able to put up for collateral in case you default on this loan, for example? But you have to have some money. You have to have something. It's not free giveaways, handouts that anybody is just throwing money out there.
So when you say you have to have some money, is
Hmm.
there like a minimum balance that you got to show or a minimum amount of revenue
Yeah,
for
I
for
don't
when?
wanna try to get into any specifics on what any particular investor or lender might be looking for. That would be part of the process that an
Right.
entrepreneur would need to do for themselves. So I
Okay.
don't wanna necessarily throw out a minimum because I don't wanna say something and then
Right.
somebody finds out it's something different.
Right.
So,
Right. Okay.
yeah.
So the big thing is you got to show that you got some revenue, you got some money in the bank to
Yeah.
attract other lenders and investors. Okay.
Yeah, and that kinda leads into the 3rd one because the 3rd piece is, your, credit score. So
Oh, okay.
the next thing that they're looking for is your credit worthiness.
Is that
Your
personal credit or business credit?
Yes, both.
Okay.
Both, but we're talking, I would say more from the personal standpoint because you probably don't have a very long business track record. So from a personal standpoint, they're investing in you, not just your business, but they want to know if you are a good risk or if you're a good financial risk. They want to know what is your credit history? How do you manage money? What is your track record? What have you demonstrated in the past as how well you manage money? Do you pay your bills on time? And so that can trip people up sometimes because they say, I know that I have this great business and I need money. I want somebody to give me money. But yeah, they're going to definitely want to look and see, well, how have you managed money in the past? And they're going to look back. I have seen them look back as far as 10, 15, even 20 years.
Wow.
Or it's deep. It can be deep. Yeah, if you can find somebody that's not going to look back that far, that would be great. If the history is not that great, but that's important. It's important to know.
So personal credit, they're going to look at, and they go far back as 10 to 20 years.
It can go back pretty far.
Oh, okay. All right.
It depends on the size of the loan, I would imagine.
Okay. All right.
All right. So then number four, this is all kind of tied together. It's all we're talking about money, right? We're talking about you wanting to attract somebody to invest in your business. And so the number four thing is demonstrated cash flow. So now this is specifically in your business. So this is demonstrating that you have cash flow in your business. So, what is your balance sheet looking like? What is your cash flow pro forma looking like? What are your P&Ls looking like? And so, they're going to want to look at a history of that. Again, if we're talking about your business has, let's say, been around for 2-3 years, they're going to want to see that entire business history of, are you progressing over time? Is there demonstration and evidence that you are getting better, you are increasing your clientele, you are selling more product and services, there are more people that are engaging with you, so they're looking for demonstrated cash flow.
Okay. Demonstrating cash flow. Okay.
Yes.
Um, so you got to show proof that your business, your product or service is creating some form of revenue and cash flow. Okay. And you're
Yeah.
not just self-funding your business.
Exactly. And there's a lot of this kind of flies in the face, I think, of what people think. They're like, man, if I need money, if I'm an entrepreneur and I'm trying to make it out here, how am I going to get money? If there's all of these requirements, I have to be in business already for a certain length of time.
Right.
I have to demonstrate that I have credit worthiness. I have to demonstrate that my business is already growing. Well, how's my business going to grow if I don't get the money? And so I understand that can sound counterintuitive, but if you're talking about someone in many cases who doesn't even know you, and you're asking them to believe in you from a financial standpoint, that's just kind of how it is in the financial world. Nobody's giving out free money. They want to know what is the risk and what is their return. When are they going to get their money back? At what rate? And how are you going to demonstrate and prove that you really are capable of doing it?
Okay. Okay.
What's the evidence? So this goes into number five, which, no surprise, is you have to have a comprehensive business plan, right? So investors and lenders are not going to give you money because you have a pretty face. They want to see in black and white on paper exactly what are you going to do with the money. What have you done with the money that you've had so far? Who is this company? What is this company about? What value do you provide to the marketplace? Who are the key partners? Who's involved in this? What is your operational standpoint? What do you look like from a marketing standpoint? And very clearly, they are wanting to see the financials. So they want to see not just where you have been for the length of time that you've been in business from a financial standpoint, but also those projections of where are you going to go? Exactly what are you going to do with every dollar that you're asking for? You better know exactly what the dollar amount is that you need and being able to demonstrate. And this is why. This is exactly what everything is going to cost. And this is how we're going to make a profit once we do this. Going to make our money, and investor and lender, here is how you're going to get your money back and when.
So just to recap what you said, the five things that business owners need to know to attract lenders and investors. They first got to have a track record, at least a 9-month track record with as a registered business
Correct.
with a articles of organization such as a LLC, a EIN number with the IRS,
Hmm.
an established bank account, and revenue. Then they got to have some money. Number two. Three was the credit score, personal credit they look at, as well as, well, if you're a new business, you probably haven't had time to establish business credit. And the fourth thing was the cash flow. And lastly was, of course, the business plan. I
Right.
wanted to, if you don't mind, if you could kind of break down the difference between investors and lenders, for those who are trying to attract resources.
Right. So an investor is someone that is going to perhaps get a stake equity in your company, for like how you see on Shark Tank. That's the greatest example. Most entrepreneurs watch that show. So that is just like a quick and dirty example of what an investor will do. They are investing their resources in exchange for a percentage of your company in many cases. Sometimes it could be a line of credit, but it's also in many cases going to come along with their expertise. Perhaps they're going to help you. So some of them it's just financial, and others it's going to come along with perhaps they're good in the marketing realm, and so they're going to help you from that standpoint. A lender is like a bank. So a lender is someone that is going to lend this money to you for the terms and conditions that you agree upon for that for that loan, and then you're going to pay that loan back with them not having any equity in your company.
Okay, so the basic breakdown, an investor is somebody who takes a equity position. They may own a percentage of your company as they loan you money to help
Hmm.
scale the business. And you gave the example of Shark Tank.
Hmm.
And a lender is an institution like a bank.
Correct.
Now, I know that in my research, there are other lenders out there. You have the SBA, they give out loans. You have micro lenders,
Hmm.
they give out small loans. If you're a new business, where do you suggest people to start? Should they start with a traditional bank? Should they look at other alternative lenders, or what would
Yeah,
you say?
it really depends upon what the enterprise wants to do. I work very closely with the SBA and helping them to um, identify people. When people come through our program, if they are interested in going that route, then we help them to go with that route as well. Understanding these 5 tips. I mean, that's kind of where I got a lot of that
Okay.
information is from that research.
From that research. What are some of the red flags that you find where people who are trying to get resources, but there's some things that they just don't have in place?
Yeah. So number 2 and 3, I think on that list, I see a lot where, number 2 being not having their own resources. So
Okay.
again, it's just that entrepreneur that says, I have nothing. you know, I've just seen it, where people
Right.
just say, I really don't have any money at all, but I know I have a great business. Well, unfortunately, you're just going to have to bootstrap it some kind of way,
Okay.
because you're not going to be able to attract people. And then number 3, without having that good credit history. So it's about that skin in the game. It's
Okay.
about you really understanding every aspect of your business and being able to demonstrate that on paper, but then also being able to demonstrate it from your history.
So, in your experience, when it comes to the personal credit, have you found that there was a certain average credit score that made it more attractive for investors and lenders to partner with you?
Yeah, I tend to not get into that aspect of it as much. I know that that's one of the things that they're looking for. High 600s, I would say, is pretty good standing. Anything above that, obviously, is going to be phenomenal. But I I would say at minimum the high 600s.
Okay. What if you have like maybe a delinquent account, or maybe a history of you filed bankruptcy in the past? Does that affect your ability to get investors and lenders?
It can. It can. Again, it all depends. Everybody's a little bit different in terms of even how far they'll go back with that. 7 years on a bankruptcy is often going to be kind of that cutoff place that I have seen.
Okay. All right. What if somebody owes back taxes? How does that play?
Duh. Okay, no IRS questions.
All right, no IRS question,
I
folks.
stay in my lane.
All right, okay, so we won't worry about that. Well, I know in our other episode you talked about how you work with people in writing their business plan. Share how do you work with people and how you help business owners a year or more in operation. How do you help them attract these kind of resources?
Right. So we help people with the comprehensive business plan. So that is specifically our area that we're able to help people to attract investors and lenders from our experience. Even if there's an application process, to make sure that all of the pieces in that application are um, thorough and thoroughly completed, dotting the I's and crossing the T's. So we do this through a three-step process. Number one, phase one is in laying the foundation of your entire business entity, the values that you have behind your business, why you exist, the vision for where you're headed, and then creating and crafting a perfect mission statement that communicates to the world who you are, why you exist, and why it's important. And then in phase two, we're building that comprehensive business plan so that we're making sure that we're giving the investors and lenders all of the information that they would be asking you for, that you would be able to be confident and speak boldly to any investor and lender because you know that you've done all this work, you know that you've done the research, and you feel confident that not only what you're providing to them on paper is solid and thorough, but that also because you've done this work yourself, you can speak confidently about any question that they may ask, including about the financials. And then the third part is really about just getting out there and launching that business and being able to be successful.
All right, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, what's the best way people can reach you? Do you have an email, a website,
Hmm.
writeyourplan.com, or what's the best way
Yeah,
people can get in touch with you?
they can get in touch with me at hello@writeyourplan.com in terms of an email address. And then to access our program, the easiest way is to just watch our free 3-day mini course, which you can watch. I recorded it over 3 days, but it's recorded now and it's available to people to be able to watch at their leisure. And that is at mini mini.writeyourplan.com. So that way you would have an opportunity to learn a little bit more about our program, what we do, how we do it, who we serve and why, and how you can participate. And within that, you will be given an opportunity to apply to work with us. You'll be given an opportunity to apply to work with us at apply.writeyourplan.com. And when you do that, we will schedule a time to talk. We'll have a brief conversation to talk about your business plans and your goals and share more with you about how this program works and see if it's a good fit. And then we just go from there. We just have so much fun serving people and helping them to show up powerfully before these investors and lenders so that they can feel confident in what they're doing and have a roadmap for the short term and the long term growth of their business.
That's awesome. So you have a three-step process. People can simply watch your courses that you recorded at the mini writeyourplan.com, mini writeyourplan.com. They can
Mini dot right your
mini dot writeyourplan.com.
yes.
So that's great. Easy way to do that. They can watch that as your leisure. And then they can work with you directly through that 12-step process or 12-week
Yep.
process. That's awesome. So again, I want to thank you again for this bonus episode. I think that's great. The services you're providing. A lot of people have business ideas and concepts, or maybe hobbies or side hustles,
Yeah.
and this is a great service to show them how to put that idea to make it to reality, how to write their plan down, and how to execute that plan, and get to the point where they can attract investors and lenders. That's awesome. So I
Yeah.
want to thank you again for being on the podcast and sharing this valuable information.
I thank you, Charles. It's been a blast. And I just want to do everything that I can to serve this community because it means so much to me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, that wraps things up for this bonus episode with T.ROSE, um, regarding the top things business owners need to know to attract investors and lenders. The information about our guests will be in the show notes. So check out the description in the show notes. You'll have all the information for our websites, the writeyourplan.com, the mini.writeyourplan.com, her email, and also her social media handles in our show notes. If you find value in this episode, I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel, and we would definitely like to hear your comments. And you can hit the notification button to get more notifications when we upload new episodes. We try to bring interviews with difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship and community involvement, and to help those who are viewing to increase their reach in their business and also in social media. So thanks again for watching this podcast. Please like and share.